Okay, guys, I thought I'd make up a video. I'll try and keep it quick so everybody's keen to watch it. Just to go through, I know we've sort of covered it lots of times, but I think there's still a lot of confusion about what constitute conservative settings, what's aggressive settings, how do you work that all out? How hands-free can this software be? So I'm going to go through all that in this little video. I'm going to read the disclaimer first. Foreign exchange trading and or use of trading software carries a high level of risk that may not be suitable for all investors. Leverage creates additional risk and loss exposure. Before you decide to trade or engage with these, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience level and risk tolerance. You could lose some or all of your initial capital investment. Do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Educate yourself on the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial or tax advisor if you have any questions. This meeting is by an independent affiliate and for educational and or informational purposes only, and the views and statements made are not a representation of Warrior Prime's opinions. We are not licensed financial advisors. This is not a solicitation to invest. But basically what we're saying there, guys, is that don't use your rent money. Don't lose your last few dollars to trade with. You should always use a demo account first, so you've got time to learn how to do this. I don't care how great the software is. You need time to learn how to use it properly before you go risking too much money. And if you're going to risk money, only risk money that, nobody likes to lose money, but only risk money you can afford to lose. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to just go to the calculator here to start with. Now, I'm far from an expert. I've used this software for a fair while. But what Warrior Prime have is they have Stephen Betterell, who is actually, a fully licensed financial advisor with 15 years in the Forex markets, 15 years worth of experience, managing really big accounts. And because he's licensed, he actually is legally able to give advice. So he probably doesn't have to do that disclaimer. But so we are all, we'd all be silly not to tap into his bi-weekly updates and videos, or at least watch the recordings whenever we can, because his level of experience is something that probably none of us have, or definitely not me. And even if we don't do exactly the way he recommends, the advice and knowledge that he imparts each week is basically invaluable. But I wanted to go through, first off, how automatic can this be? Obviously, we don't call this automatic trading or anything, but we can. This software has so many settings that gives us absolutely complete control. But because of that, I think it leaves a few people confused about and what to do exactly. And I'm going to use a calculator. I'm going to go through some specific examples of, conservative, aggressive, super conservative. But they are only just, still just, examples to sort of show you, the potentials, a rough guide on the settings to achieve that. Now, as far as how automatic it can be, I mean, there are people in this company, and I'm not actually doing this myself, but they have super conservative settings. They basically never touch their software. They leave it running. They leave it running 7 days a week. I mean, I know the Forex markets are only open 5 days a week, but they don't close it down. They just leave it running. Over the weekend, they carry trades over the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's basically fully automatic. Obviously, to do that safely, you can't be aiming for a really large return. And I'm going to give an example of such settings and what sort of returns are possible. And then we've got middle of the range, conservative, and then I'm going to go through my aggressive settings as well, which, from the aggressive point of view, it's going to take more knowledge. It's going to take more monitoring. It's more hands-on, but you get the bigger returns. So, obviously there's, not just 3 settings. There's all, graduations going through all of that. But let's go for, well, what have I got on the screen here now? What I've got on this calculator now are my, quite common for me to use these settings on my aggressive account. So we're looking at a 3,000 US dollar balance and trading 3 pairs. I'm going to keep, for the 3 examples I give, I'm going to try and keep everything much the same. So I'll always have the same balance, always going to trade the same amount of pairs. If you don't, so if you only had $2,000, maybe trade 2 pairs, $1,000, 1 pair. Just to keep the same conservativeness, but I'm just going to try and keep all the settings the same. My starting lot size is always going to be 0.01. It's just the rest of the settings I'm changing. So my range multiplier, my level range, quite small. My range multiplier, quite small. Position multiplier is also pretty small. But what I'm looking at here is 2 things that are making this aggressive. One, at 100% drawdown. If you don't understand all the terms and things I'm talking about here, just reach out. But a lot of my other trainings have already gone through this. So at 100% drawdown, we're looking at roughly 350 pips. So that's one of my general guides to see how conservative it is. I call 500 pips conservative, 350 pips is aggressive. The other thing I'm looking at is how many trades can fit in the 250 pip distance to the first stop loss. And in this example, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I counted 9 because it says level 8, but that actually is 9 trades, including level 0. So there are 9 trades that you can have in one direction at any one time. So that constitutes aggressive settings, because 9 is quite a lot of trades to have in play at once. So that's quite aggressive settings. If, on my aggressive account, I prefer to run it on the 1-minute charts to make sure it's always hedging, but it also mostly does double trades as well. So you really need to halve your lot size. Not that you can if you're using a 0.01 lot size, but, like on my aggressive account, I'm only trading 2 pairs to offset that. So, if you had a $6,000 balance and, the lot size is doubled, you could halve them if you wanted to do 1-minute charts, or you can still just stick to daily charts. So that's my aggressive settings. And on those settings, now, obviously, I'm not, recommending things or giving advice here, but on my aggressive account, I'm aiming for at least 10% profit per week. So huge returns. That's, it's more aggressive, it's higher risk, but that's what I'm aiming for, really, really big returns. So now I'm going to go through conservative settings. Go through my conservative settings now. So keeping everything much the same, but I'm changing the level range up to 15, and the range multiplier to 1.45, and position multiplier to 1.25. So I'm trying to read my notes as well. So when I do that, I'm also going to look at how many trades fit in that 250 pip distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 fit in. So I'll change my max levels just to 6. So 6, obviously is less than 9 with my aggressive settings. So that constitutes more conservative settings. And looking at the 100% drawdown, we're looking at, maybe a little bit more, or roughly around about 500 pips, which is what I always look for my, middle of the range conservative settings. So that's what I'm looking at there. You can run these conservative settings either on daily or 1-minute charts, but just taking into the consideration that if you're on 1-minute charts, you will get double trades, and you should basically halve your lot size. You could also, as I said, this is just a rough guide, so I'm not giving you precise instructions, but just trying to make it easier to understand. You could also use a smaller level range if you wanted to make sure you could make profit in small market movement. And then, just maybe increase your range multiplier a little bit more, or something else in order to sort of keep the same 6 trades in play and still making that 500 pip distance. So particular settings, not necessarily important. I like to keep level range as small as possible, but tweaking your settings so that, for this conservative setting, I would tweak my settings to make sure I had 6 trades in play at any one time and, still getting 500 pips at 100% drawdown. Okay, so that's aggressive and then conservative. And now I'm going to go for the super conservative. And this is something that we'd be looking at doing if we wanted, hand-free trading, so that we're not having to check our trades every week. Not going to have to do anything on Wednesdays. We're going to allow the trades to keep trading. Now, this isn't something I do myself, but, this is sort of an example of settings you could use if you, were happy to make a smaller return, but just have it as hands-free as possible. So I'm going to go my level range. I would change up to 25. My range multiplier. My notes aren't very good, but my range multiplier, 1.8, and my position size multiplier. I think I left it at 1.25. Just let me see how this worked out. And I only fit 4 trades in play at any one time there as well. So there we go. So we count down to the 250 pip range, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one goes over 250. So I would only ever have 4 trades in play at any one time. And if I'm looking at 100% drawdown, I'm looking at about 1,100 pips, so twice as many pips there as with my conservative settings. So, on my aggressive, I had 9 trades in play. Conservative, I had 6. On my super conservative here, we're only looking at 4. So you can see how that's getting more and more conservative, less and less risk. And, now we went from 350 pips on aggressive to 500 on conservative. And now we're looking at, 1,100 pips on these super conservative settings. And the whole idea here is just to make it completely hands-free. So on this, we're just trading daily charts. Okay, so nice and simple, daily charts. Only ever have 4 trades in play at once on any one chart. We're not turning it off. We're just leaving it run. I would possibly suggest, obviously we're talking about completely hands-free, but just to make it even safer, if you're able to, if let's just say that at some stage, maybe Thursday or Friday each week, if you're in a position where you had next to no drawdown, then you could just turn it off and close out automatically at the end of every week. If it wasn't at break even or in profit, then you can just leave it running. Leave the trades over the weekend and into the next week. And because it can handle 1,100 pips, that's fine. If the market opens significantly different, it's not going to blow your account. It's not the end of the world. And we just wait for the market to retrace. So that's why these are settings that you can possibly just leave trading all the time. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to show is that, these super conservative settings, you can basically make them hands-free. I didn't say hands-free. I didn't say automatic, honestly. But, that's what's possible. But I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but on these settings, hands-free and everything, but I would only be expecting to make between 5 and 10% profit per month. So aggressive settings, I was looking at making 10% per week. Conservative settings, I don't think I mentioned this either, but aiming for 3% per week, 3 to 5% per week. So, that's, 12 to 20% per month. And now on these super conservative and as hands-free as absolutely possible, we're just looking at, 1 or 2% per week. So, 5 to 10% profit per month. So, you know, it's just covering everybody's. If we want to really concentrate and learn, we can go for more money, or if we just want something completely hands-free, well, honestly, 5 to 10% profit for hands-free is still, you know, like a huge return. You don't get that for 2 years with the bank, and we're still talking about that per month. So in the grand scheme of things, 5 to 10% profit per month. Well, let's just go at the bottom end of the scale. 5% profit per month is still something, you know, very, very, very significant. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you again later.